helps you get to the outcomes of your why, your intentions, because your intentions helps you to put down what you need to do to reach your goals. So I think intentions really has to do with the goals that you want to complete for the day or for the week or even for the month. A really good idea is to, and we'll talk about the why in a moment, but a really good idea is to have a look at what is your next 3 months. Every day that you go through, you will not, most probably not, if you do fantastic, celebrate you, but you'll probably not tick off every single thing you've put on for that day. So then things will go into the next day, the next day, the next day, and that's just life. That's just what happens. So, don't beat yourself up. We're all human and we're all just, doing the best that we can and getting the stuff completed that we can. But planning is really important in order to be able to reach our goals and do the things that we want to do. People forget that we're a work in progress. Our business is a work in progress. We are a work in progress. Who you were 10 years ago is not the same person that you are now. Things happen in our universe the way they're meant to happen. Or, God puts obstacles in the way for good reasons. I hate hearing all that stuff, but sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I was just hesitant to say it before. But, sometimes I realize that things do happen for a reason. Like I look at, and sometimes too, when we try things, I say it's like branches off a tree. So you try something and there's something you like about it and something you don't like about it. So you go towards what you liked about it, which is another branch. And then there's something you like, something you don't like. So you go towards the something you like, which is another branch. So it's like branches of a tree of where we go. But how do we know what we like and what we don't like, or what works and what doesn't work if we don't try anything? We don't. Your why also helps you, to get out of bed every day, to keep you moving forward, to keep you doing the things that you do as well. And not everyone knows what their why is. So, write down, why do you do this? I do this because, and then the next level, and why do you do that? And then why do you do that? And why do you do that? And there will be a lightning moment or a light bulb moment where you're going, oh my God, that's why I do what I do. You'll feel it in your gut.
Welcome to A Conversation with Faye, where we delve into the stories that shape our lives and inspire our journeys. I'm your host, Faye Waterman, and today we have an incredible guest joining us. I'm thrilled to introduce Debbie Small, a leading strategist and advocate. She's going to be uncovering your why today, and with a keen understanding of how vital it is to have a clear purpose. Debbie helps individuals and organisations align their goals with their values. Her expertise in strategic planning ensures that every action taken is purposeful and impactful. In our conversation today, we explore the importance of knowing your why and how having a strategist like Deb can provide clarity and direction. Get ready to deep dive into a purposeful living and strategic success. Let's get started. Deb, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm well, Faye. How are you? Lovely to be here, and thank you so much for having me on your wonderful show.
Thank you for being on it. I'm absolutely fabulous. I say it's Friday, then it's Monday, then it's Monday, and then it's Friday. And I'm thinking,
So you can't say that, because then you're making the weeks go too fast and they need to slow down. So
I know that. I want them to slow down because it just seems to be going so fast.
yeah, it
Do you
is.
find that?
Yeah, I do. Especially this year, everything's gone really fast. So I think, we need to be more in the moment and in the present and really bring ourselves back to the moment and back to the present in order to slow down time.
Well, I'm working on that, but sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. Do you have a go at working on that to make sure that you're in the moment, be present in the moment, because that's all we've got. The past is the past, the future is not here. We are here. And when you do that, does time really slow down?
I think it's different for everybody, and it's different depending on how people feel or what they think or, what they try to manifest as well. So I've realized over the last, well, actually few days as well, is that, life just happens. Life just happens. The past is gone. There's nothing we can do about it except for learn the lessons. That's really important. Learn the lessons to make our future different. And tomorrow hasn't come yet. So, there's no use trying to think about tomorrow. So it's really about doing the best for today for your tomorrow. So
Uh,
yeah, I was just going to say that I kind of feel that, there are so many things going on in the outside world, and there's nothing, we can do about so much of it, except, we just need to do what is best for the people around us as well.
well, I often think, you get up in the morning and you do what you have to do, and then you start working. And I start working and I think, yeah, I'll have a break. I get up. And it's really important to think about, not sitting all the time, all day. You must get up, have a break, go away from your computer and come back, because there's a couple of reasons for that. It gives you a little bit more clarity when you come back, because you're clearing your mind, thinking about something else, and then coming back and sitting in front of the computer. It might be a different part of work that you're doing the second time around, the third time around, or whatever. But it's really important to stand up, move away from your computer, go outside, or do whatever you're able to do, so that you can clear your mind and make sure that you're in the moment when you come back.
It is important, but a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, forget to take those breaks, and we become quite hyper focused on different things that we're doing, and we just continue on and on. So it's really about having I guess, a forced break. Some people who get hyper focused need to finish what they're doing before they take a break. Other people need to, put a timer on, or an alarm on, in order to make sure that they are taking breaks that they need to. Because what we tend to forget is that in order to bring creativity in, we need to take those breaks. We need to go outside. We need to do something slightly different in order to bring that creativity in as well. And we often forget to do that.
We do, particularly when we get really involved in what we're doing and we're progressing really well. You think, oh, just keep going. And it could be hours when you keep going and you forget about time. And then you're relating to this, aren't you?
I am very much so, yes.
I work on getting up at least once every hour and making time just to go and make a drink, or to walk outside and breathe the fresh air and come back in again. And then I'll either restart what I'm doing or start something new. So it's all about, as you said, putting a timer on. Maybe it might be every half an hour, it might be every hour, it might be every 90 minutes, but put that timer on so that you can get up, move away, and have a different perspective.
I guess that's also in relation to self-care as well. By looking after ourselves, we can look after our business, we can look after others, and we tend to forget about ourselves as well. So putting those breaks in is really about planning your day. So how does your day look? What are you doing at different times? And there are different non-negotiables people have. I think one of your non-negotiables is going for a walk in the morning. That's non-negotiable for you. So different people have different non-negotiables that they need to plan and put in their diaries, because if they don't, things don't end up happening.
That's true. And sometimes even they're in your diary. They may not happen
Yeah,
due
that can
to
happen.
circumstances and things like that. If it's pouring with rain outside, oh, I'm not going for a walk early morning. I don't want to get drenched. Thank you very much. And I'm not taking an umbrella, because I have taken an umbrella and it's been windy, and the umbrella tight, you've either got to hold it down really hard, or otherwise it gets turned inside out. So it's defeating a purpose. But just self-care, and it's not just, it is self-care. And I think that we're learning this more and more all the time these days, to take care of ourselves with what's going on in the world, with all the, I don't want to say the word, all the illnesses that are happening in the world. It's really important for us to take care of ourselves and make sure our body's functioning the way it needs to function. Drink lots of water. Oops, what's that? Drink lots of water.
Actually, I have a question. I was thinking about this morning, and I think it's different. Is drinking a lot of tea the same or similar as drinking a lot of water?
No, no, not
Okay,
really.
I didn't think so.
Drinking water and drinking tea or drinking coffee or drinking whatever your preferred drink is not the same as having a glass of water or a sip of water, just water itself.
So I drink a lot of tea, but I need to drink a lot more water.
Mm. Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't like water, but I often put lemon in my water, so I'm more inclined to drink it.
Lemon, cucumber, orange juice.
Yeah, oh well, not orange juice, but lemon in my water, and I'm more inclined to drink it because I just don't like the taste of water. It's not really a taste anyway. But you know, we just have to teach ourselves to do this and discipline ourselves. But Deb, being a strategist and working with people day to day, every day, and understanding, you often look and ask them what their why is. Now, we either know what it is or we don't know what it is. It's like a bit like setting intentions. We either set those intentions so they give us a bit of clarity so that we know what we're doing for the day. And that intention could be the list of things that we need to do. And don't make it too big because you're not going to get through the list. So make it reasonable. And you may get through 2 or 3 things if you've got 6 things on your list, if they're big things. Tackle the hard things first and then the easy things later. That's a good way to do it. But with the intention, setting your intention for the day, setting your intention for the week, gives you a bit of clarity and direction to know where you're going. And that's a part of your why, isn't it?
It helps you get to the outcomes of your why, your intentions, because your intentions helps you to put down what you need to do to reach your goals. So I think intentions really has to do with the goals that you want to complete for the day or for the week or even for the month. A really good idea is to, and we'll talk about the why in a moment, but a really good idea is to have a look at what is your next 3 months. So a good idea is to cut the year into quarters. And then what is your next 3 months? And then for the next 3 months, what in July, August, September, okay, so October, November, December is the last 3 months, but hey, you can start it now, it doesn't make a difference. So have a look at your next 3 months, and then what are the goals that you want to reach in 3 months' time? So in order to reach those goals in 3 months' time, what are the goals that you need to reach this month, next month, and the month after? So just say you've put your goals in for this month. So in order to reach your goals for this month, what are the weekly goals that you need to reach? And those are then your intentions that you need to do in order to reach those goals. And then you need to plan daily to be doing bits and pieces of each of those things in order to reach those goals. I was listening to an interview years ago with Ryan Seacrest, and at the time, Ryan was running about 3 or 4 different shows all at the same time. So what he did is he cut his day into, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4, just say it was 3. He cut his day into thirds. So the first third would be the first show, the second third would be the second show, and the third show, the third quarter, the third of the day would be the third. Maybe I should have got in quarters. But you cut the day up into each one because if not, there are so many things that we need to do that it becomes overwhelming. So if you start to feel overwhelmed, just take a step back. Write the list of what you need to do and what's the first most important thing that you need to do and you need to get done. Or if they are for different things in your business, cut the days into the quarters or the fifths or whatever it may be and do those things every day in that part of the day. So planning is really important in order to get your goals done, and your intentions are your goals for the week that you really want to have completed. Because if you can complete your and it's every day that you go through, you will not, most probably not, if you do fantastic, celebrate you, but you'll probably not tick off every single thing you've put on for that day. So then things will go on to the next day, the next day, the next day, and that's just life. That's just what happens. So, don't beat yourself up. We're all human and we're all just, doing the best that we can and getting the stuff completed that we can. But planning is really important in order to be able to reach our goals and do the things that we want to do.
Mm. And I think a lot of us fall down there with our planning. We don't
Mm.
structure our planning in a way to make it easy for ourselves.
Yep.
And as you say, for the next 3 months after September, I mean, we're in the middle of a quarter now. So the next 3 months is October, November, December. So plan for that 3 months to see what
Plan for
needs to
4 months.
happen.
September hasn't gone yet. It hasn't even started
No,
yet. So make
yeah.
sure you utilize September as well, because if not, it'll be gone. So utilize September. It's here. We've even got one more week left of August. So, utilize August as well. If there are things that you really want to get done at the moment, do it. Get it done. Put a plan together for it.
Or, when you need to do something, do it now, regardless of how you feel about it, and you'll feel good once you've done it, instead of procrastinating over it. And I have things all on my walls, and if I want to be reminded of something, it's stuck up in front of me so that I can actually see it. And I can look at a date when something's on or whatever it is. And looking at creating a structure in your life so that you know where you're headed or where you want to go. That's the main thing, isn't it? So let's talk about your why and why your why is
Okay.
so important.
So every time I meet a new person, I always ask them their why. And a lot of people are stunned that that's the question I ask. And when you ask someone their why, you get to know them at a deeper level. You get to hear their values as well. And at the same time, you'll always find out their what. That's not a problem. You'll always get there and they'll always end up talking about it. But it's really interesting, I find, hearing people's whys. And most people have two different whys. They've got their why and their business why.
Yeah.
So and usually your why has come about because you want a better life, because you want, people to have it easier than you did. You want people not to go through the hurdles you went through. You want people, and that's why you do your business. A lot of people do their businesses, not everyone, but a lot of people do their businesses because they want it to be easier on somebody else. They don't want that person to go through what they went through. So for me, I have two whys. My own why is to be able to do what I want, when I want, how I want, and help whom I want, when I want, how I want, which is most entrepreneur.
It's called freedom.
Yeah, 100% freedom, 100% freedom to do whatever I want, but freedom to help whomever I want as well.
Yeah.
And my other why is I want to make the business journey easier for business owners, because when the journey is easier for business owners, it's easier on their families. It's easier on their employees and their employees' families. So those are my two whys. And I don't want people to go through what I went through. That's the whole reason I built Empowerment Point, because I want people to have an easier journey, utilize the right experts, and have the right foundations.
And it's important not to reinvent the wheel, because whatever you're doing is already out there. All you have to do is find it or ask,
Well,
and it will simplify things for you.
yeah, and sometimes the way you want it or what you want isn't out there, so you end up creating it.
Yes, yes, but a lot of the time, particularly if you're looking at business, the foundation of a business is similar principle all the way through. You've got to build that solid foundation. And you
Yes,
can get people to help you do that regardless of what business that you're in. It's similar, the structure, the strategies, the processes, the procedures, the
a hun-
systems.
100%. So I ended up, when I had my last business, I made different mistakes. And I was screwed by a couple of so-called business experts on websites as well. And I thought, if this is happening to me, this is happening to other business owners, because we don't know what we don't know. We're
Oh, so
experts in
true.
we're experts in our own area, but we can't be an expert in every area. So I looked around for a place that had all the foundations of a business, because I truly believe that it doesn't matter whether you're a startup or whether you're scaling or whether you're just a business, you don't want to get into the pitfalls. You really want to, be able to have solid foundations, move forward a lot faster in your business. So I looked around and had at a place that had all the foundations of a business and great business experts, could not find what I was looking for. So Empowerment Point was born, which is the point of empowerment for business owners. So we have amazing business experts, including yourself on board, that can help people have solid business foundations. And I also do a talk now called the 10 Commandments of Not Screwing Your Business, which goes through all the different foundations of a business that is really important. So you're right, it doesn't matter which business I'm talking to, it's the same foundations that they all need. It doesn't matter which business we're talking to, it's the same systems or the same, it's the same way to do the system. The systems might be slightly different, but the way they actually do their systems, the processes and the procedures, it's done in the same way, but it's just different information.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look at, we all have two whys, a personal why and a business why, if we're in business, or if we're not, we go to work, we still have two whys, one for work and how we're going to do that, and a personal why. Even if we're employed, there's a why there for us to go to work. Why are we going to work? Why are we doing what we're doing? Or why are we doing something that we don't want to do? We can ask that question. But it's really important to have some form of guidance comes to mind, but it's not really guidance. It's a bit of a focus or a purpose
I
of
think,
where we want to go, knowing what we want.
yeah, definitely a purpose. There are different people who'll say, I don't know what my why is. So do a brainstorm on a piece of paper and ask yourself, why are you doing what you do? And then ask yourself, why are you doing that? And why are you doing that? So you go different levels deep. I think they say I think it's around 7 levels or so, that you'll come to that. Oh my God, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So for me, I realized when I was sitting in a training class and it was all about making a difference for other business owners. And suddenly it was just a light bulb moment where I've gone, oh my God, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do. But it's not a light bulb moment for everybody. So keep asking yourself, why do I do what I do? Why do I do what I do? I want to earn money. Why do you want to earn money? Because I want this. Why do you want that? Or, on the other side, on the business side, it could be that you want to help people. Why do you want to help people? What's the story behind it? So the lovely thing is that when I ask people their why, it's their story which lights them up, and I see their passion, and I see, their face lights up, their eyes light up, everything lights up when they're talking about their why as well. And I'll ask you, Faye, why do you do what you do?
Oh, I think you really know why I do what I do. Why do I do what I do? My business why is to support people to feel good about themselves, to be able to share their stories and feel comfortable sharing their stories, to also feel them, see their own magic and brilliance, their superpowers, so that they can stand up on their own 2 feet and feel proud of who they are and go out and achieve whatever they want to achieve in life and feel confident and comfortable and be really connected with who they are so that they can actually do that. Because I find there's a lot of disconnection with each of us these days with what's going on in the world. We disconnect with things, and that means we disconnect with ourselves. So reconnecting with who you are, knowing, building clarity into who you are, what you do, why you think the way you do, which then builds that confidence, then rebuilds that connection, or builds a stronger connection with yourself, so that then you can step over that terror barrier and take yourself onto the next level of life.
So what was that pivot that made you go, this is what I want to do? What happened that made you go, this is what I'm meant to be doing? This is what I need to do?
I think it was when I started my radio show, and I was listening to people's stories and giving people a voice and being heard and being seen was what really made me sit up and take note, because there are a lot of people out there that are not heard, not seen, and feel like nobody cares. And so they say, this is my lot in life. But giving them a platform to be able to share their story and know that someone out there they can make a difference to, give them hope, and that person that's heard their story will say, oh, well, I'm not alone, someone else is there that's the same. I might want to talk to them, or I can do whatever I want to do in life. But it's about giving people hope and understanding that they don't have to sit where they are. They can choose to move forward in whatever area that they want. And it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you go to work to earn money, or whether you're a person that picks up rubbish off the street or collects the rubbish in the bins. There's an art in it, and why some people enjoy it. And I mean, there's no judgment around what people do in life. A mother is the worst paid person on earth who, you know, is there all the time and forgets about her self-care until one day something happens and she realizes. So there's stories to be told to get people to realize that there is hope for them and they can do what they want to. All they have to do is ask for help when they hear a story.
Yeah, but asking for help is very hard for a lot of people.
Oh, it was very difficult for me to ask for help. I never asked for help. It was always, oh, no, I'll be interfering. I'll be taking up their time.
Do you know what makes it easier?
They won't ask. I won't ask because it's easier to do it myself, that sort of
Do you know
stuff.
what makes it easier? And you've done this, I've done this. And what makes it easier is put yourself in a community of like-minded people.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
so Faye and myself and some other people, we're in a, well, not only this, but we're in a group once a week, but also too, we have built relationships with certain people in our lives that we can talk to during the week. We talk to a number of times a week. We can vent, we can banter, we can talk business, we can talk whatever it is that's on our mind, and we feel supported. And to me, even with empowermentpoint.com, I don't call it a community, I call it a family, because it's totally curated. People can't just join, they need to meet with me first, and it's got to be the right type of person, because people need to have heart and soul and care about their clients, but they also care about each other. And the support that people give each other, and the support that, the help and it's just, it's the proudest I am of Empowerment Point to the people. But for me, being around a like-minded community is important. So your like-minded community, talking to your public, could be anywhere. It could be networking groups that you're part of. It could be community groups that you're part of. It could be hobbies that you're part of. It could be absolutely anything at all, but be part of a community, be part of a group, be part of I call ours a family, be part of something, because through the ups and downs, you end up being there for each other, because there may be times where, everything's great for you, but not someone else, and you're there for them. Or it could be the other way around. The one thing with life that's constant, oh God, is change.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, change.
change and ups and downs. We have times where we're like, yay, we have times that we don't want to get out of bed. And it's so normal for all business owners. It's so normal. And people don't think they're normal going through these things, but they are. But it's also normal for, parents and humans and, just across the board, it's totally normal for people. But we need to be able to have people we can vent to, talk to, because when people see it from a different perception, or a different perception, it's interesting hearing it from other people's perception, or interesting hearing it, someone else turn around, and when we can see things in a different way, it really helps us to be able to do things in a different way as well.
It's really interesting looking at it with a different set of eyes, a different perception. We know what we're talking about. And then you have a conversation with someone else and they'll see it in a different way, which then can show you something to make what you're doing easier, the next step or the next few steps to come along. So it's really important to make that happen.
Do you know what that does too? That brings me right back to you, Faye. Bless you. Bless you. That brings me right back to you because when people are doing their About Us page or their homepage or their profiles on different membership sites, they are in their business. So they are saying it and they are writing it from their perspective. But then when other people may have a look, they may not understand it totally, or they may not, they may see it in a different way. So what you do is you come in and you help them to do their profile page, their LinkedIn, their About Us, their homepage in a way that actually is from a client's perspective. And that's what people need because we see it from one perspective and people see it from another. When I first did my homepage on empowermentpoint.com, I remember a marketing person having a look and he went, I'm so confused. And I went, what do you mean? He goes, who's your target market? And I said, well, it's business experts and networking groups coming on board because we're the umbrella over business experts and networking groups globally. And it's also business owners across the world needing to utilize these experts. And he's gone, I'm so confused. So I redid the homepage and I made it for business owners because business experts will find the green button, not a problem. Networking groups will find the green button, not a problem. But for business owners, I want them to find these experts. I want them to find these amazing networking groups. I want them to utilize and find these and utilize you guys. So I rejigged my homepage for that. But it's a lot easier when people have someone like you come in, Faye, and have the talk with them and, go through and help them. So their About Us or their profile page is for their prospective clients.
Yes, and it's actually getting that message right. And as you said, we have a different perspective. We understand totally what we do. And then we put that message out there and we think that the audience will understand that as well. But half the time they're confused. So that's where I step in. And it's really interesting to have conversations and record the message that they want to portray in their business or whatever it is. And then they have to listen to it. And when they listen to it, sometimes they really take a step back and think, oh, yes, no, I don't want that. Yes, that's really gold or whatever. And then I get them to watch it after they've listened to it. And when they watch it, there's the body language that comes in and they get distracted if they watch it first because they're looking at how they look and they're not really listening to the message. So it's really important to understand when you get in front of a camera, when you get in front of a microphone, thinking about your tone, your pitch, what you're saying, how you're saying it, your body language, because people like to see you, they like to hear you, they like to watch and get a feel so that they can get that feel of trust, that know, like, and trust that we all talk about, and to develop a relationship where they feel comfortable to want to connect with you, ask you a question, get on board. They can be sitting in the background watching, but you never say the right thing. Once you get your message right, and you don't need to change your message all the time, once you get your message right, unless you add something new into your business, then you add that piece into your business. So you create a message for that. But your message is the same all the time. You can't keep changing your message because if you
People
keep
get confused.
so confused.
Yeah. I always tell people on their profiles, on our profiles on Empowerment Point, to put their why. Not everyone's done that yet, but to put their why, because their why is what connects with people. People go, oh my God, they get me, they understand me. Some of the stories that people have actually told on their profile, I'm like, oh my God, they do not realize how inspirational they are. it's like, wow, they've really delved deep and, told their story. It's just incredible to hear people's stories. People's stories, they don't realize that it has such a connection with people. It's as you said, it's why people, learn to love and trust people and want to utilize people. It's really through, their stories, and their stories makes their profile. Their stories make their about us. If we hear a profile that's, in the third person, very corporate, we go, okay. But if we hear a profile that's really, from someone's heart, it's like, wow, there's such a different connection there. And people really want to utilize that person, and they really want, to connect with that person on a different level.
Totally. And stories are very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And delving deep into the story is a really important part. You don't have to tell everything about who you are,
Mm.
but your why, what's important, why would you want people to work with you? That's the question that they need to ask. Why do you want people to work with you? What are
Yeah.
you going to give them? Are you capable of doing that? Are you able to do that? So you have to ask yourself questions. Sometimes we go into business, been there, done that, and looked at what I'm doing and thinking, well, do I really want to be here? No, because I'm not doing what I want to do. So it's all about trial and error. But from what you've done that you don't want to do, what are the lessons that you can bring on to the next thing? And you might move through quite a few things or a few things before you'd come to where you are to realize what your why is and where you sit now.
People forget that we're a work in progress. Our business is a work in progress. We are a work in progress. Who you were 10 years ago is not the same person that you are now. Who you were
Absolutely
5 years
not.
ago is not the same person that you are now. We're continuously learning, we're continuously seeing things differently. I have to say, my whys are my whys are two things. Well, two things, as I say, my personal and my work why that haven't changed. I've always wanted, the freedom to do what I want, when I want, how I want, and help whom I want, when I want, how I want. And I've always wanted to make the journey easier for business owners. I just feel that when you do that, it makes the domino effect of the people around them is pretty huge. But the way I do that has changed in the years, and how I do that has changed. But the why has stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah, and it's the authenticity too, which is really important, being authentic when you're
Yep.
presenting yourself to the world. We tend to wear these masks a lot of the time, and there's a mask for social media, there's a mask for your family, there's a mask for your friends, there's a mask for you even. You'll need to drop all those masks and actually look at who you are as a person, as an individual, and respect yourself for who you are. It's not about worrying about what other people think you should be or could be. It's about you being you.
But also love yourself for who you are as well.
That's right. It's all about loving and respecting yourself, because that will portray out into the world as authentic.
Yeah, just people don't always allow themselves to be themselves. Be you, enjoy being you. Learn who you are. Um, it's an interesting journey, finding out who we are. I find that, here's one for you, and I say this quite a bit. What is one thing that that every human has, but most people do not utilize?
I have
Da-da-da-da-da.
I have no idea. It's very simple. I know that.
No, introspection. Introspection. We all have the ability, well, I'd hope so, to be introspective, but not everybody is introspective. And when
Explain the meaning of the word, so just in case people
Okay,
don't
so
understand.
for me, introspective could mean different things to different people. But for me, introspective is, when something happens, I will look at, okay, so I'll have my thing like everybody else. We get upset, we get angry. I don't want to get out of bed, or I'm like, oh my god, or I'm watching trashy TV, not wanting to get out of the couch. We'll start a new day tomorrow. But then I'll have a look at, what's happened, why has it happened, what do I need to do differently, how can I do things differently, how can I act differently, how can I be differently, what is this meaning in my world. So it's just being introspective in regards to me, nothing to do with anybody else. It's just in regards to me. How can I do things differently? And I have to say, in the last few days, I've also been quite introspective. Things are happening in the world, things are happening in my world as well. And there are things that I can do absolutely nothing about, like nothing. I have no control over these things that are happening. So I just need to find a way to deal with it and go, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. This is what's happening. But also, too, I look at the world and, there are people in this world who are going through a lot more than what I'm going through as well. There are people who've lost people. There are people, I have a friend of mine who I'm sending lots of healing energy today who's in hospital being operated on. So a lot more people are going through different things. So it's really about perspective as well as introspective of different things. So do I wish that, my world was a lot easier? Hell yeah, And that's what I'm building around me to have my life be a lot easier. But I need to be able to curate that to do that. But in order to curate that, I need to see what is going on at the moment and what I'm liking in it and what I'm not liking in it and what do I need to change and how do I need to change it.
Yeah, and we all have choices. Sometimes we don't realize the choices that we have. We have choices to stay where we are and put up with whatever's going on if we don't like it or we like it or not. We can choose to change things. As you said, there are things that you can't change, but there are lots of things that you can change.
Yeah.
So taking that step and being brave sometimes, because those changes
Oh,
can be hard. A lot of people don't like change. I don't mind change. You've
I
got to
don't
be
like
prepared.
change.
You
I
don't.
no, but I'm having to just deal with change. It's just part of life. It's part of what it is. But yes, I have never really liked change. I've been a real, I like same in a lot of ways. But that's just life. I just have to deal, don't I?
Yeah, you do. You're a prime example because I don't mind change. You have to have a certain amount of flexibility in your life
Yes.
because you never know what's going to be thrown in front of you. And then you have those goals and you might have a date for that particular goal, particularly a big goal, and you chunk it down and you're taking small steps to get there, and then someone throws that spanner in the works and you think, oh, I'm not going to reach my goal. No, it's not about not reaching a goal. It's actually taking a step back, looking at it and thinking, well, how can I go around this? How can I achieve this? It might take you a little bit longer
Or how
to
can I
achieve
go
your
through
goal.
this?
Yeah, through it, over it, under it, and those sorts of things. But you can change the date, but don't change the goal. If it's what you really want, do not change the goal. Change the date. It might take a little bit longer to get there, but it doesn't matter. And challenges are always something that come up in our lives, unexpected or expected, as we know, dear. It's, there's been a few challenges over the last few months and weeks and days, and you sort of think, oh, take a deep breath. It will be okay. Everything is always working out for me. I say to myself as I'm walking sometimes when there's a big challenge and I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I talk to myself, you can do this, Faye. You
Hey,
can
I
do
do a
this.
lot of self-talk as well. Self-talk is a good thing. We need to self-talk.
And not allow something, if it's really out of your control, there's nothing you can do about it. But if it's in your control, or you feel like it's been taken out of your control, but you still have control, if that makes sense, you can take charge of it, take control of it, and move forward. If you don't see a way through it, have a conversation with somebody else that you trust. Go and sit and they will see a different perspective and show you. And I've had many a conversation with people of late about different things. I mean, you might write something and look at it and think, oh, it just doesn't seem quite right. I'll get someone to check it for me. And they will pick up something. Why did you say that? Why not say that? Etc. Because I find when you write something, you know exactly what you've written. So when you're rereading it, you're reading it as though you're just writing it again, when it could be completely different in parts of what you're reading, what you've actually written.
Something a bit off topic. Can I just give a quick tip for editing written work?
Go for it.
Okay, so a really good tip that I was given a long time ago is to read it aloud. Like if I write something, I usually look at it the next day and then I'll leave it for a day and then I'll read it out loud. And when you read it out loud, you will find different things to edit. Someone said to me not long ago, read it out, stand up and read it out loud. So when you're standing up and reading it out loud, then you also will find different things to edit. It's a great way to edit your own work as well. But yes, what you're saying too is, have someone else look at it so they're looking at it from a different perspective. And as long as, their heart is in the right place, different perspectives are good. It's like, I've always said even for Empowerment Point, and I'm really happy to take feedback from people, tweak things. I only have two non-negotiables, is what I say. One is that I will never open the payment gateway just to anyone to come in. It'll always be, people will always need to meet with me first because it's important that we have the right people coming in. And the second one is all the profiles and the education and the events will always be open to people because, how do people find, a great expert on Empowerment Point if they can't see who they are? So I want them to be able to find the right people, utilise the right people, learn from their education, go to their events and do all those things. But anything else, I'm happy for people to talk to me and go, oh, maybe we should do this. And people do, maybe we should do that. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. And we end up growing it in different ways that is meeting people's needs. So as much as I say I hate change, which I do hate change, I'm still open to being adaptable and flexible because I don't believe that either I can grow or my business can grow if I'm not adaptable and flexible. And as I'm saying that sentence, I'm actually hearing it myself and taking it myself as I'm saying that. That's a really interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, you do. You have to be. You have to be adaptable. And
Doesn't mean we always have to like it though, but yes, we do.
no, some things, no, yeah. Well, there are certain things that may change that you don't like, and that's true. But it's really focusing on being true to yourself and knowing what you want. People think they know what they want, but they don't really know what they want because they haven't clarified it. They haven't got clarity in that message that they're telling themselves. So they need to really sit back, maybe have a conversation with someone they trust to just clarify and banter or throw about, brainstorm things that they're thinking about because there actually could be an easier way for them to get to where they want to go if they actually know where they want to go. Because sometimes if there's no clarity there, there's a lot of confusion. So they're doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And I know because I've been there, I've done that. And it's about knowing now. If I don't know now, I never will.
Well, we learn every day of our lives and we will continue to learn until the day we die. We're always learning, changing things, redoing things. As I say, we're a work in progress and so's our business. But that's also why, Faye, I think it's really important that people utilize strategists or coaches or mentors, utilize people who've done it before you. Utilize people who've been through the hard yards so you don't have to go through the hard yards, who can see it from a different perspective because they've been there, they've done it. And I'm not going to say there's a lot of coaches who shouldn't be coaches, but there are a lot of great ones out there too. There are, a lot of strategists and mentors out there too who are amazing at what they do. And they have been through the hard yards and they don't want you to go through the hard yards. So that's why, if you take them on board, let them help you do things in a way that's not going to be as hard as it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, and that's so important, to allow yourself to show your vulnerability, to show up and say, I need help here, I need a mentor who's had experience in this area or an area similar that can help me, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Because reinventing the wheel takes time. When it's already there somewhere, they can support you through that process to get you to the next level or the next level.
It's not just reinventing the wheel, it's that we don't want you to fall into the pitfalls that we had to. We
Oh,
don't
yes.
want you to go through the heartaches that we've had to go through. We don't want you to, stumble and fall like we've had to. We had to do those things because, well, we should have probably seen strategists and coaches and mentors a lot earlier as well. But a lot of us wouldn't be doing what we're doing today if we hadn't been through the things that we've been through. And I have to say, one of the things I hate about entrepreneurs is that many of us have had to go through hell to get to where we're going. But at the same time, I know that a lot of us are doing what we're doing today and helping the way we are because, one, we've been through it, and two, we don't want other people to have to go through it. And for me, I truly believe when people are able to, just get into their business, do their business, not go through the pitfalls, they can get to where they want to go a lot faster and they can help themselves and other people a lot faster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wish I'd had a few mentors along the way. When you're working on your own, and as entrepreneurs, we usually work on our own. There's a long time working on your own.
Yep.
So it's really nice or important. It's nice and it's important to have a coach or a mentor or a group of people that you can sit and brainstorm with. And they will give you the feedback that you need. And feedback can be different things to different people. When you say feedback, people think, oh, they're going to give me a negative. But it's not
Yes.
necessarily that.
Right.
It's actually looking at what you're doing and giving you feedback to help you streamline or make it easier for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about the negatives. I mean, you learn that from school. Oh, you didn't do that right, or you got this wrong, or you got that
But
wrong.
that's being around the right people though.
Yes, that's right. So getting out of school and coming and finding your tribe, finding the people that really resonate with you and are like-minded. And it's really important to have those like-minded people because they will look at things. They might be on a different level. They might think different to what you do, but that's what you need so that you can actually then see what you're doing and say, oh, I could do it that way instead of the way I'm doing it now, and I could get there a lot quicker, or I can do this or that. And asking people their opinions. And I always say an opinion is your opinion, and someone else's opinion is their opinion. And we can have opinions and differ, you know, agree to disagree, because it doesn't mean to say because you've got two different opinions, they're wrong, because they're not necessarily wrong. It's how we think and we perceive something. That is our opinion. Deb, you might think of something that I don't really agree with, and that's your opinion. And we need to be able to respect each other's opinion. And we might learn something from someone else's opinion too, instead of judging it and saying, oh, she's very opinionated. She thinks she knows everything and all this sort of stuff, which does happen and used to happen a lot once upon a time. I think it's changing because I think what's happening is that we tend to change the people we hang around.
That's the number one importance. Who are you hanging around? Are you hanging? They say that you're the sum of the five people you're hanging around, but who are you hanging around? Are you hanging around people who are just putting you down? Or just they're not your tribe. They're not the right people. Or are you hanging around people who want to lift you up and they want to see you shine? And, the feedback they're giving is coming from the heart and soul because, they really want to see you shine.
Yeah. Yeah. And their heart's in the right place. Their heart is really in the right place. And I have people in the background saying, oh, come on, Faye, do this. Let people know what you do. Come on, keep going. And it's really lovely to have people behind you that say,
Your cheer squad.
yeah.
Oh,
And I think we all need a cheer squad. We all
yeah.
need
Yeah.
those people behind us to say, come on, you can do this. You've
Yeah.
got this. And sometimes I talk to myself and I say, Faye, you've got this. Even though deep down inside, sometimes I don't believe it. I say, you've got this, Faye, you can do this.
You have to be your own cheerleader, even if it's forced.
Yeah,
There are times that, as I said, we all go through our ups and downs. There are times that we really have to make sure that, we're self-talking ourselves in a good way and we're doing good things for ourselves. Because if we don't look after ourselves, how are we going to look after others? And seriously, we only have one life. You're going to stuff up, you're going to make mistakes. You're a human being, but you're also going to learn, you're going to do different things, you're going to, show love to people, you're going to, we go through all sorts of emotions, we feel all different ways, and we should understand we're human and allow ourselves to be human. Yesterday is gone. Whatever mistakes you made yesterday, just take the lessons and make it different for today. Everything we do today will put you instead for tomorrow.
tomorrow. And don't they say tomorrow never comes?
And
It's a
tomorrow
new,
doesn't come. So,
it's a new day.
keep enjoying today, keep doing the best that you want to do for today. And if you're having a crappy day, that is okay. There are times where I've gone, I'll say I'm having a crappy day, don't want to know anyone today. Tomorrow I'm just going to start anew. And you do that, go to bed early or, watch trashy TV or go for a walk or do whatever it is that you want to do. And then start a new day the next day because you still got to allow yourself to go through the downs, because if you don't allow yourself to go through the downs, then they just build up and build up and build up. So you need to do that too. And that way you're getting through it and you're starting a new day as well. But yeah, as you said, having the right people around you, that is so important. And if you don't have the right people around you, then look for a group that is a good group to be around. And it could be people that have the same hobbies as you, they're in the same types of business as you. They have the same, it could be, array of different things. It could be. But it's just got to be people that, they get you, they want to uplift you. And if you're around people all the time that want to put you down, then, take yourself out of that space or at least limit yourself. Oh, and there's a really good thing too. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I will. There are times that there are people in your life that, you can't separate yourselves from these people. So sometimes, like when they say things, you can go, and I really shouldn't be saying this, but I will. You can say, okay. And if you say okay to someone, they think you've understood them and that you agree with them. They don't realize you've just said okay because, it's enough now. You just want them to stop
Let it
talking.
go. Let it go.
So just say, okay, that's it. And it
Let it.
works really well.
It's all about letting go, isn't it? It's not about holding on to grudges or anything like that. And I
Yeah, let
think
it. You know why? Because most of the time it's not nothing to do with you. It's their own thing. It's how they're feeling. It's what they're going through. They're just projecting that onto you. So once you realize that it has nothing to do with you, it's all about them, it's like it puts a cone of protection around you and you perceive it in a totally different way.
you do. You do. It's really interesting. I think that we as humans need to learn to allow, allow, because we don't allow enough for whatever it is that we want in our lives. We're just going, I want that, I need that. Oh, I need that. It's got to happen today or whatever. Instead of saying, this is what I want, then letting it go. And that's the thing, let it go and it will happen. And I proved this just recently with something that I'm thinking, oh, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. Oh, I haven't got any information yet. Where is it? What are they doing? And I'm asking myself all these questions. And then it came to one day and I said, Faye, just let it go and it will happen. And I let it go, and a couple of days later, it happened. So it's allowing. Set the goal and then allow it. You may need to take steps. I didn't need to take any more steps. I'd taken all the steps I needed to. I just needed that feedback. And then when I got the feedback and I'm looking at it, I had to read it a couple of times and I'm thinking, oh, really? Really? And I wanted to cry because it was really something that I wanted and it actually happened. And so I think stepping away from it and allowing it just to progress. As Abraham Hicks says, it's in your vortex. The universe has got it there.
Yeah, to the universe.
And it's there waiting for you to allow it to happen. So what do you say to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, things, I'll say it anyway. Sometimes I like hearing this, sometimes I don't. Um, things happen in our universe the way they're meant to happen. Or, God puts obstacles in the way for good reasons. I hate hearing all that stuff, but sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I was just hesitant to say it before. But, sometimes I realize that things do happen for a reason. Like I look at, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. One of the things and one of the most special things to me about Empowerment Point are all of you guys, are the people that are in there. And that's why I call it a family, not a community, because I feel so grateful and blessed to have you amazing humans globally in my orbit, that I get to chat to, talk to, nurture, build relationships with, we get to help each other. It's just, yeah, I'm just in awe. And I know I've curated that, but still, that doesn't matter. I'm still absolutely in awe of the actual people that are there because, they make my life better. All of you make my world better. You make my life better. There are different, yeah,
Yes.
there are different people I can go to for different things because for me, it's not just a membership, it's a family that I've built because, that's what I wanted Empowerment Point to be. And so every single person that comes on board becomes part of that family and people that I want to really nurture those relationships with. And sometimes with some people, it takes longer than others, not because of nurturing, but because there are quite a number of people I need to connect with on an ongoing basis, and get work done at the same time, which I do. But yeah, it's just the most grateful I am are the people that I have around me. And, I go through my ups, I go through my downs, I self-talk myself. And, a lot of different things in the last year have happened in my world that make me go, what the hell? Enough is enough already. But still, it's the people that I have around me that, I get to banter, I get to vent, I get to, I get the support from. And, that in my world is really important. And I'm very grateful for that.
I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they said you need to attract people around you that are better than you so that you can grow.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, not at your level. They need to
Oh.
be better than you. They need to have more experience than you so that they can teach you something so you can step up the next level. And then when they've done that, you find someone else who is, that level above or two levels above you so that they can actually teach you more things.
But
But you have to be willing to learn also.
But remember too, I see, to me, everybody's here because I have experience that you don't have, but you have experience I don't have.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
all of us are here because we balance each other out because, as I said, I have experience you don't have, but you have experience I don't have. So
Mm.
we help each other out in different ways. And same with, all of us. There are people who've said to me, I don't feel good enough. And I say to them, you have no idea how good you actually are. And you have no idea that every single person has a story. I get to hear all of my members, I get to hear all of their stories. And, I can't tell each other's stories, obviously, but I do know that everybody has a story, everybody.
Every
Everybody has a story. And
everybody
if
has
people
this.
only knew the stories of other people, they'd be going, oh, okay, my stuff's not that bad, or my stuff's this, or my stuff's that. So just know that, how you feel in any given moment is normal, is okay, and you've just got to keep moving forward. And you've got to realize that everybody has a story. And there are stories that I've heard that I'm like, wow, I am lucky in different ways, even though, this year, in different parts of my life, my world's been turned upside down, inside out. But, I still need to keep moving forward for my members, for my family, for the people around me, for my friends. There is still so much I need to, and I want to achieve, and so many goals I want to tick off my list. So I just need to, keep moving forward, keep doing the things I love to do, because no matter what, life's going to happen. Things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. It's not what happens, it's how. And as I say this to everyone else, I'm saying this to myself as well. It's how we deal with it. It's how we go through it. It's how we deal with it. Are we going to find ways to make things better? And also too, whilst we're finding ways to deal with things, we're also creating the ability to help other people be able to deal with things in different ways as well.
It's interesting when you said, I always think that we choose our parents for a reason,
Okay.
because we learn. We choose our family because we learn. I think that our life is sort of planned out for us. This is my opinion, And there's certain cycles that we go through. Some are good, some are not so good. And what lessons we learn from those and take on to the next thing is, and the challenges, when you get to a challenge where you feel like, oh, is this ever going to end? Is this ever going to end? And you sit in this little pit here, and that pit can get bigger and deeper and deeper and deeper, and you need a damn ladder to crawl out of it. Or you can go down into the pit for half an hour, half a day, but you've got to step out of it at some stage to get on with life. You cannot sit there and wallow in self-pity, because it doesn't get you anywhere. You don't learn anything from it. You just think, this is my lot in life. Why is everybody so mean? And you play the blame game.
You are allowed to do that for a short
Yes,
time.
yes.
You are allowed to do that for a short time, and then you need to just start anew.
Although that's what I said. You go down into the pit, you
Yeah.
stay there for half an hour, or half a day, but then
Or
you've got
even
to
a
climb.
day. Or
You've
even
got
a
to,
day.
yeah, and you've got to climb out of that. You cannot sit there all the time, because nothing changes if nothing changes.
No.
And you're responsible for your life. So therefore, you are responsible for making the changes. People are there, they've got your back. It's like leading a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. They've got your back. They're saying, you can do this. Come on, you can do this. If you don't take the steps, nothing will change. And it doesn't matter what anyone says or does.
Be the difference you want to see.
Be the difference in the world that you want to see and you want to be.
And you want to be. Be the difference you want to be. Yeah, I like that too.
Because we all can make a difference in our lives. And when we make that difference in our lives, those people around us will see that and make things change in their own lives. It'll be kind of like a ripple effect. They won't even know they're doing it. Sometimes they'll notice it, sometimes they won't, but they won't know they're doing it a lot of the time. Once you make some changes to your life and you've got people around you, maybe family or whomever it might be, friends, they'll see the changes in you. They'll either make a smart comment and say, what are you doing? Or they'll think, oh, gee, I like the way she's going along or he's going along in life. And they'll change things that they're doing, because it's kind of that ripple effect. It's encouraging people to look at their lives in a different perspective and to make things better every day. Today's better, but tomorrow's even going to be better.
Yeah.
Now, right in this moment is better, but in an hour it's going to be better again. And that's what we have to keep telling ourselves, that it gets better, better, better all the time. And it might be only by something small that we make the change with, but we can make a difference in our life to make our lives better, which then may make the people around us lives better as well.
Yeah, it only takes a bit by bit by bit.
Yeah, one step at a time. I mean, what was I reading? I think I was reading or writing something. Often when I hear things, I write things down, which make me think about it. And it's one step at a time. If there's a trauma in your life, it's looking at the trauma and thinking, let's deal with it one step at a time. And then we work through it. Because a lot of the time, if there's a trauma in our lives, we cover it up and we don't deal with it. We move on in life, but it's still there. And there's things that happen, we do in our lives to self-sabotage ourselves. So what we've got to do is go back and, with help most of the time, deal with the real root cause. Once that's dealt with, it never goes away, but you can then step up and take steps into the next part of your life. But if you don't deal with the root cause, it never changes anything until you do that. And it doesn't matter what you do or how good you think you are, you've got to change that root cause first. And I'd say most of the time, they say that trauma happens as a child and we forget about it and we suppress it and we get on with life. But then something might trigger it. You might become an alcoholic, you might become an addict, drug addict, you might become something that you don't want to be or don't realize, because you find that coping mechanism is too hard to deal with. And you've got to find someone who can help you look at what actually happened, process it, and then move forward.
So the key there is ask for help.
Absolutely ask for help.
Doesn't matter what it is, in regards to whether it be in your private life, work life, whatever it is, ask for help with what you need, because you'll be amazed at how many people are happy to help.
And there are always people sitting in the background waiting for you to ask for help, but they don't want to interfere. They want you to ask for the help, and they can probably help you or find someone or know someone who can help you. So it's really important to understand that there's always someone out there that can help you. It's not the end of the road. It's not you give up and leave this world. It's about dealing with it, asking for that help. And it's really difficult to ask for help sometimes, or a lot of the time.
Most of the time. That's why I say, put yourself around good people, put yourself around like-minded people, because it's easier to ask for help in different ways when you've got people who get you, who understand you, who, are there to, you're vulnerable, they're vulnerable, they've been open with their situations, you're open with your situations. You feel that, you can ask for help in different ways. Because one of the hardest things for any business owner or any entrepreneur or maybe any human is to ask for help.
Yeah, any human. And it's really, I don't know. When you have a bad thought, what sort of things do you do to process that thought? Do you know there's this thought coming in and you think, oh, next. I say, next. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, because it's such a big challenge in your life. You sort of think, oh, I just want to curl up in a corner and go to sleep for a while and
Well,
forget about it.
I guess it depends what it is. So if I have a bad thought in my mind, either I'll turn it around, so I self-talk a lot, or I'll swear a lot, or I'll say, you know what, tonight, the world can whatever, tomorrow I'm going to start a new day. So just, it depends what it is, depends how I'm feeling. Because yeah, as I said, we're human. We need to be able to feel the way we feel. There are times that, I haven't wanted to get out of bed. And then, the next day I go, the next day I'm going to start brand new, because when I do get things done and I do things, I do feel better. But also too, I guess, going through different things, it affects us all in different ways. So we need to do different things. I know some people who, when stuff happens, they'll go for a run or a jog or a walk. Some people will go for a swim. So everyone's different. So what works for you that actually helps you to get through something. So therefore, I guess, you've got the brain power then to actually see, how can I do things differently? What can I do differently? And that's where the introspection comes in. So it's, I realize that of late, with everything that's happened in the last year, that, things are going to happen and I just have to deal with it and do things a bit differently. So, I'm feeling different. So I'm being able to help myself and those around me. So it's just interesting having a look at, look at what's gone on. Look at how you can do things differently. And one of the greatest gifts an entrepreneur has is the gift to create. It's one of the greatest gifts an entrepreneur has. So have a look at, if it's something that you want to create or you want to make more money or do things, what can you create? What products can you create? What digital products can you create? What courses can you create? What ebooks can you create? What anything can you create in order to help somebody else that also brings money in for you? So our greatest gift is the gift to create, and we need to utilize that twofold. We need to utilize that to help others have an easier time, but we also need to align that with our business and ourselves in order for us. Because the one thing I find about a lot of entrepreneurs is a lot of altruism. We're always helping everybody else and we forget about ourselves. But if we don't think about ourselves and make sure we're okay, how do we keep helping everybody else? We can't. So it's really important that we help ourselves to help others as well. And it feels weird saying it, but it needs to be.
And it's all about when something's not going the way it needs to go, change your focus,
Yeah.
change your focus, change your focus all the time. I always say head, heart, hand, thoughts, feelings, actions, what we think about, how we feel, we act upon. And if it's a good thought, then it's great. If it's a negative thought, then you bring about that negativity into your life. So it's changing your focus, changing the way you think.
I was using the word with someone lately of challenge. She said, you need to change that word. So I changed it to opportunity.
Yep.
So
yep.
now I'll use the word, every time the word challenge comes into my head, I'll change it to opportunity, because, there are a lot of opportunities with things that happen, but what are those opportunities? Where are those opportunities? And when you look at things as opportunities, you see a bigger picture.
Your focus is different
And your focus is different, yeah.
When you see, and I always say, opportunities are in front of you all the time. Whether you see them or not is a different thing. But if you see them and the opportunities there and you're not quite sure whether you want to take on that opportunity, do it anyway. Because if it doesn't work out for you, what did you learn from it that you can take onto something else? But you can get through life and there's opportunities that come our way all the time. And you can say on your deathbed, you can say, if only I had. And you don't want to live with regret.
No, you don't.
So looking at the opportunities that come into your life, assess them. If they're really not right for you, pass them by. You'll know, you'll have a gut feeling. But a lot of the time, there's lots of opportunities. They might be small, they might be big. They can take you somewhere that you never, ever dreamed of.
There are two good questions to ask yourself as well. The first question is, if I don't do this or if I don't try this, will I regret it? That's the first question. And then the second question is, what is the worst that can happen?
Well, you can fail at it, but the only time you fail is if you
Yeah.
don't get back up again.
It changes for everything it is. So whatever it is that you're looking at doing, ask yourself, will I regret it if I don't do it? If the answer is yes, then what is the worst thing that can happen? I mean, depending on what it is, it could be really, really bad and you decide not to do it. Or it may not be that bad at all. And you go, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. So those are really two good questions to ask yourself in order to then take those steps forward.
Absolutely. And opportunities. There are some great opportunities out there. And, they can be really quite scary. Think,
Oh,
oh, will I? Won't I? Will I? Won't I? Yes, I will. No, I won't. And you're
that's
sitting
why
on
if you ask those questions, that'll answer it for you straight away.
sitting on the fence thinking, oh, I may as well have a go at it. If you've had a go at it, the worst thing that can happen is that it didn't work out, but you've learnt lessons that you can take to the
There's the
next
opportunity.
thing.
There's the opportunity. You've learnt lessons that can
Yeah,
take you to the next thing.
absolutely. And I remember having a conversation with somebody, a story, and she said, I live with one regret. And I won't make share names or the story, but this regret was living with her every day. And then she got this opportunity. Opportunities don't come around twice a lot of the time, but she got this opportunity that came around a second time. She never passed it up, but she lived with that regret because she didn't do what she wanted to do because someone talked her out of it. And I think make up your own mind. If you've got this opportunity, you can brainstorm it with people. They can say, yes, you can look at this and you can look at that, which is a really good thing.
Well, what does your gut say? What
But
does
at,
your own gut say?
but at the end of the day, it's your decision. Go with your gut, go with your gut. And if it's not right, so what? You've learned something from it. And you did it. You had a go. It's a bit like me and my fencing, the foil fencing. I did that when I was a lot younger and my daughter was young, and I wanted to have a go at it. And when I actually got to stand up on the podium thing and have a battle with somebody, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And it was hard work, absolute hard work. If it's a sport that you have to be really fit. Doesn't look like it, but you really do have to be fit. I just didn't like the foil coming for me, even though I was all geared up and everything like that. But I had a go at it because I wanted to try it. And there are a few things that I've had goes
Off
at.
the bucket list.
Yeah, a few things that I've had a go at that I wanted to try. And if I don't like them, I don't have to continue them.
That's it. That's it. Or you can pivot, or you can try something else. And sometimes too, when we try things, I say it's like branches off a tree. So you try something, and there's something you like about it, and something you don't like about it. So you go towards what you liked about it, which is another branch. And then there's something you like, something you don't like. So you go towards the something you like, which is another branch. So it's like branches of a tree of where we go. But how do we know what we like and what we don't like, or what works and what doesn't work if we don't try anything? We
Exactly.
don't.
That's exactly right. We have to try things to see whether they work or not. Or you can try something and it can take you onto something bigger and better.
Yeah, you just never know where things, yeah, you just very
Mm,
true. You never know where things take you. When my background is corporate and business training, account management, B2B and B2C, but mostly B2B sales. And I kind of fell into a product business. And that's where we also met, Faye, when I was running this product business about 14 years ago. And so I didn't know that, if I hadn't fallen into that product business, one, there are lots of incredible people I wouldn't have met. And two, I wouldn't be doing Empowerment Point now, because it's the mistakes that I made in that business that made me go, if this is happening to me, this has got to be happening to other business owners. And I got bored of product and wanted to go back to helping business owners. So if I hadn't gone through that stuff, then I wouldn't be doing this today. And I don't think I'd have the people I have in my orbit today either.
I'm just trying to think of things that I've tried that, well, everything I've done has brought me here to where I am today.
That's it.
Everything that I've done, it's been a journey of lots of different things that have brought me to where I am today, and the
Mhm.
experiences that I've actually had and the people I've met and the things that I've done, the opportunities that I've had and achieved, when I think about it, are amazing. I was going to say be amazing, but they are amazing. And it's brought me here to where I am today. It's like the journey hasn't been easy. There's been
Oh
the
my
ups and
God, no,
downs and the journeys.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
it's
But
been
it's also the downs of those journeys. Oh, sorry, it's the downs of that journey that has also made you see things differently, which has helped you the way you see things today or the way you help people today.
so true, so true.
And without it's like the yin and the yang. Without the downs, how do we know how good the ups are? Someone said to me, and sometimes I don't mind this though. Someone said, or I read this somewhere. I think I read it somewhere, and it's like, if you don't have the ups and the downs to balance, then everything just stays the same, and everything's really monotonous. And when I first read that, I was like, yeah, I don't mind balance and peace, and having a bit of monotony every now and again. I'm okay with that, but can you imagine never understanding what the real highs are and what the real amazing stuff is and never having to feel that high? And if you didn't feel the lows, you'd never feel the highs.
Yeah,
It's that yin and yang.
yeah, so true, so
There's some
true.
introspection for you.
So, Deb, what would you say if someone was going, they're moving, they're changing their business, they're coming out of corporate, or they're thinking of starting up a business, because there are a lot of corporate people who come out of corporate with a set of skills that they can utilize in a business, but they don't have all the skills that they need to build that business. They need other people to support them as well. What would you say to them?
First of all, I would say good on you. You're doing something that is quite courageous, and you're wanting to. There's obviously something you want to do. What is it that you want to do? So I'd find out what it is that they want to do. Then I would have a look at what are the foundations that they're needing, and I'd go through all the foundations with them. Once you've got the foundations, or not you've got, but what the foundations are, you then know which experts you need to speak to. Then know which type of strategist or which type of mentor or which type of coach that you need to have. But the first thing is what is it that you want to do? Even before you've got the foundations of a business, what is it that you want to do? So we also have a couple of people on Empowerment Point who help people go from corporate into entrepreneurship or into business as well. So knowing what you want to do, what the business that you want to do is the first thing, and knowing your why. Why are you wanting to do this? And then you can go the next step, which is then making sure you know what all the foundations are, and then you know which experts you need to speak to in different areas. Because if you don't know what the foundations are that you need, you won't know the different experts you need to speak to. But if you do know the foundations, then you know the different experts that you need to speak to. So, my very first thing, if it is what you want to do, is, as I said, we have a couple of people on Empowerment Point who help people go from corporate to entrepreneurship or to business. And you're welcome to get in touch with me at empowermentpoint.com, and I can put anyone in touch with these people as well. And I can help you to know exactly all the foundations that you need in a business, so you don't get into the pitfalls that we all get into.
Yeah. Life's interesting, isn't it? It's never dull.
Yeah, I don't like saying that anymore, because no, really, there was one year a while ago that my mantra was life is interesting, and life got way too interesting that I'm not using that mantra anymore. But life is full of opportunities. Life is amazing. We're alive. We as entrepreneurs, we love to create, all these. I say we are limitless by our imagination. That's my quote. So we are limitless by our imagination. And I absolutely love that because we are limitless by our imagination.
Beyond your limits.
Yeah, we can definitely go beyond our limits, and create whatever it is that we want to create. We just need a starting point. So if you're wanting to start a business, you're wanting to scale a business, you're wanting to make sure that you're on the right track, or you're wanting to go from corporate to business, I'm happy for anyone to have a chat with me and to direct them to the right person or the next step that they need to do. Don't wait. There's the best time to start a business, yes, they say was 10 years ago. The next best time is today. The best time to start anything
Is
is
now.
yeah, definitely. Because the thing is, and I don't know, other people have probably done this too. I've always been a good procrastinator, which I hate doing now. I try not to do, because when you procrastinate and you wait for things, suddenly something happens that it's like, oh my God, I wish I'd done this already because I need to do it now. There are things that, yes, don't procrastinate, because and it doesn't matter what age you are, because you can start things at any age. KFC was in his, the Colonel was in his 50s, in his
Oh
50s,
no,
or 60s.
no, he was in his
He was in his
60s.
60s, I think. It was the McDonald's guy that was in his 50s when he started.
Yeah.
You know, there was a woman who decided to get a degree, and she was 86. There was another one in her 90s. There was a woman in her late 80s or early 90s that recently went sky jumping. So anything you want to do, there's only one time you can't do anything. Only one.
When you do.
And when you're 6 foot under, that's the only time you can't. So forget about age, forget about everything. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to achieve? And if you don't have the money to achieve what you want, okay, then what are you going to do in order to get that money? What are you going to create? Are you going to create products? Are you going to create services? Are you going to create something? Are you going to work on the side whilst you're creating? What are you going to do? And we can help you with that too, in order to get to where you want to go. Because don't wait, because we have things on our bucket lists we want to do. We have things that we want to achieve. We have people we want to help. And again, the best time to start doing this is now.
How many people don't have a bucket list?
Well, I don't think I've got exactly a bucket list, but there are still things I want to do. And one of my favorite things to do is, running my business, because I just, I don't know, I'm just one of these crazy people that I love what I do, and I love, the people I surround myself with. My bucket list, what is, I think, on my bucket list? My ideal, once, things get into flow with my business, is I want to separate my year into 4. And then, into quarters. And then at the end of every quarter, go away for 2 weeks and, just do nothing, for 2 weeks, and just, reset. And then I can recreate and start again, for the next quarter. Things like that is what I love to do. I say at the moment I travel the world without a passport. I'm globally in different countries all the time from my desk. And then, track, I'll be traveling with a passport and, nurturing and seeing and meeting all of my amazing members around the world, which have become really good friends. So my bucket list, consists of things like I want to, the amazing house I want to buy, for myself, for my family, all of these things are my type of bucket list. But everyone's different. Everyone has different goals. Everyone has different things on their bucket list. It doesn't matter what they are. Everyone should be able to achieve everything they want, but they need to start now.
Absolutely. Now is the only time you have, so start now. If you're listening to this and you want to start a business, or you want to leave your job and you want to start a business, then take the steps to do that. You don't necessarily need to leave what you're doing now to start a business. You can work on it after hours until you get to a point where you've got enough funds to be able to leave what you're doing and step into what you've been building. And there'll be people there to help you do that. just, as we say, all you have to do is ask for the help. It's really interesting. Bucket lists. There are people that have bucket lists, and I know people tick off things on their bucket list all the time, and they're small and they're medium sized and they're big things on their bucket list. And I do have a bucket list, and I have one written. I have to find it to see. I think I wrote it quite a while ago to see what I've actually got on it. I have a fair idea of what it is. I know 99% of things that I want to do, and I will.
What's one of them?
One of them is to live in France for a
Oh,
month every year.
okay.
Not full time, just for a month every year. Just go there and live for a month.
France would be nice. Italy would be beautiful too.
Oh, that too, and Croatia and the Greek islands.
Greek islands, looking forward to that one.
And wherever life takes me. But yeah,
see, the beautiful thing, Faye, is what you do, you can actually do anywhere around the world. All you need is an internet connection. Same
Absolutely.
here. All I need is an internet connection.
And even with my TV show, that's all I need.
Yeah, all you need is an internet connection. So
and a few videographers in different countries.
Which is easy, which is very easy.
Yeah.
So, create the world that you want.
Oh, I am. I'm working on that one right now, creating that world. And yeah. Every day, you get up and you think, okay, and set the intentions for the week on Monday or Sunday. The intentions are set for what I want to achieve for the week. And then at the end of the week, sometimes I don't achieve everything that I wanted to achieve, but that's okay. I've achieved a lot of what I wanted to achieve. And sometimes I might achieve everything that I wanted to achieve. That is very rare because I keep adding to it what I want to do. Do you find that, Deb?
Yes, I actually sat last night and wrote a list of all the things that I had to do, and then I've gone, okay, I need to number them. What's number one of most important that I need to get done, and then number two, and there's quite a number of things I need to get done this week, that's for sure. So I have a nice long list, but I think a lot of us have a nice long list too. And I try to delegate at times, but I'm not always great at delegating, and I need to do that a lot more as well.
Yeah. I never used to delegate anything. I mean,
it feels nice to do it when you're delegating to the right people.
That you know that are going to get things done for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to do it the right way as well. We've started for our members doing mini masterclasses, and we've got an amazing lady, Janet in South Africa, who is project managing it, and she's great. She's fantastic, and I know that I don't need to worry about it. It's all good, and it'll be done properly.
Good. That's excellent. Oh, maybe I need to have a conversation with her.
You could have a conversation with her, not a problem.
Yeah. So let's wrap up. What we've been talking about is your why. And you need to know what your why is so that you can achieve things. Your why, both in personal life and business life.
Your why also helps you, to get out of bed every day, to keep you moving forward, to keep you doing the things that you do as well. And not everyone knows what their why is. So, write down, why do you do this? I do this because, and then the next level, and why do you do that? And then why do you do that? And why do you do that? And there will be a lightning moment or a light bulb moment where you're going, oh my God, that's why I do what I do. You'll feel it in your gut.
Yeah. And then we sort of talked about strategies in business and asking for help, how important it is to ask for help and to surround yourself with the people that you know have like-minded, and you can trust to ask anything, and they'll give you the right feedback, whether the feedback is what you want to hear or whether it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But you will get the right feedback for whatever it is you ask for. We talked about, starting up a business and having a good foundation for business. We've talked about, what else have we talked about? There's been so many things. It's incredible once you start a conversation where it goes and how it flows and makes sense a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's important too that as we said in our conversation today, Faye, it's important that people speak to people, get the information they need as well. So if anybody needs any help in any area of their business or life, because at empowermentpoint.com, we're not only about helping you with, your strategy, your website, your conversations, all of these things, but we're also about helping, we've got people who help with resilience and mindset and health and manifestation. And we've got people, in all areas, because I believe we need to make sure our inside is right as well as our outside, all the different, it's holistic. But holistically, we need to make sure that people are on the right track and doing their businesses right holistically, and if we don't look after ourselves, then, we can't look after our businesses. So we've got people to help with that as well. So, anytime I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody to see, who are the right people that they want to use on empowermentpoint.com, or, just go searching on there and have a look at the different people that we've got and find the right people, because you can connect with them directly on there as well, and have a chat with them and see, where that may go as well. But I think the biggest thing is that none of us do it on our own. Even though, I run my business on my own, I still have, a small exec team of our members. I still have people that I banter business with and I vent to and all of that. And so, you need to have people around you. No one does it on their own. And that's the whole reason that I've built empowermentpoint.com, is to help people to move forward the right way and not fall into the pitfalls that we've all had to do.
So true. So true. So it's all about changing your focus, knowing your why,
Yeah.
even creating a list, as long as your list's not too big every day, because that can be overwhelming. And usually if we create a list, we start doing the easy things first. I always say do the hard things first, and the easy things will just flow and won't take half the time. So you'll feel like you've achieved lots of things. So if you've got one hard thing to do during the day, don't put it off until later in the day. Do it first thing, and then do the easier things. Progress throughout the day. Watch, focus on the things that you want and you need in your life, and be in the moment. Take time out. And as Deb said, you've got to take care of yourself first. It's healthy body, healthy mind will help you achieve what you want to achieve. But you've got to self-care. Take care of yourself, your mind, your body, what you fuel your body with, and nurture it, nurture yourself, so that you're able to do the things that you want to do and help the people that you want to help.
100%. Also, too, just to let you know, there are different people. Like we do say, do the hardest things first, because that'll get that out of the way. But not everybody can do that. So even if you're going to do things and it's the easy things you want to get out of the way, that'll put you in momentum in order to then get the hard things done as well. And it's not hard things, it's just different things. So, take out the word hard, out of your mind, and just change the perception of it. So it's just, doing something different, or it's a different opportunity that you're actually doing, and get those done. Because, if we make it hard in our brain, then we manifest that procrastination, and we want to take away that procrastination. So, do the things that you need to do. I usually when I do my list, I look at what are the most important things, not the hardest, but what's the most important things that I really need to get done today. And then I'll put a 1 next to those. What are the next important things that I really need to do, and put a 2 next to those. So everyone works differently, and everyone sees things differently. So if we take certain words out of our vocabulary and change those words, it'll mean something else. It's like you'll hardly ever hear, or if I write something and someone says, something, and I won't write not a problem. I'll usually write all good or thank you for that. So really be careful of what are the words that you're using so you don't manifest things in those terms.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Hard. I'll remove that. I've removed a few things from my vocab because, the shoulds, the coulds, the woulds, if, what else? Just. And you use that word just in certain contexts, but not in all the contexts that we tend to use it. And the word like, oh my goodness, how many people say like, like? I don't know whether you ever notice it, but it's a word of it's a word that people use, like, like. I know I hear it all the time. I'm really conscious of different words that are being used unnecessarily all the time, unnecessarily. So yes, let's end it on that. We've had a great conversation, Deb. If anyone is interested in coming on the show and sharing their story or sharing something that can give other people hope, there's the raw, the real, and the heartfelt of stories. Please connect with me, DM me on any socials, and I'll get back to you, and we can have that conversation about how you can get on the show. Thank
And
you.
you can also find Faye on empowermentpoint.com as well.
Oh, you can find me there. You can find me there, and you'll also find me on TV soon.
Yes, looking forward to that.
Coming up soon on
Big
Channel 31.
congratulations there, Faye. That's just, you manifested that, you worked for that, and you've done all the, it'll be amazing. It'll be absolutely amazing. So well done and congratulations.
Thank you. We'll see about that. It will be amazing, hopefully. And
No.
it will be
It will be
amazing.
amazing, full stop.
Yes, it will be amazing. So I look forward to next week, our next guest coming up. Thank you for today, Deb. Thank you so much for coming on to the show and having a fabulous conversation.
Thank you for having me as part of your show, and I always enjoy speaking with you, Faye, so thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm Faye Waterman, the Conversation Curator. This has been a conversation with Faye, and I'll be back next week. It's bye from me for now.